Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com, also our Facebook and Twitter pages. I'm Robert Tabor, Director of Passenger Development for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad, and it is Sunday, December 20th, 2020, and we have two updates for you today. We have an update from Nick, who's finishing up the Zephyr track, and also an update from Beverly, who is painting inside the Tom Sawyer.
Hey guys, Nick Turinetti, Operations Manager and momentary track foreman for the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad. We kind of made a little bit of a milestone today. We have finished laying out rail for the Zephyr track, or the WGN's version of the Zephyr pit, if you will. For anybody who's not familiar, the Burlington had a yard facility just outside of Chicago Union Station that for many years was referred to as the Zephyr pit. So we kind of have our own little version of that here for taking care of the Mark Twain Zephyr. So this is the full extent. We just laid down the last rail right here. We've got just these two rail lengths to spike up and gauge, and we probably can put a cap on track work for 2020 on the Wisconsin Great Northern. So.
Well, considering 2021 is just a week away.
It's one of those,
we're not going to give you much time off,
right.
no.
It's a nice breather all the same.
So what are you holding and what does that do?
So this is a tie tong. Rather than trying to manhandle a tie using your bare hands,
okay,
the tie tong actually lets you move it fairly easily.
Could you show us how that works?
Yep, and actually I need to stick one more tie underneath.
Oh, okay.
This rail here. It's usually done with two people.
How much does one of the ties weigh? I remember we talked about the rail. How about the tie?
Kind of depends on how much water is in the tie, how deep it is, what kind of wood it is.
Okay.
But you know, they're not something you just pick up and sling over your back and carry to the position. It's a two-person job to physically lift them.
Okay.
We kind of aim for about a foot width between ties on our road tracks. And slide it into place.
Wow.
Like I mentioned before too, when you lay out 8'6" ties, which is the standard length for a tie most of the time, we try to have about 18 inches off of the end of it between it and the rail. So you can see on some of the other ones there are marks on them. We're in the process of picking up a few more plates from our storage area, so when they come back, we'll slide the plates in. We'll spike this rail first so that it holds the gauge, and then you can see down by Charlie, there's a gauge in between the rails. So just run that down the other side and push out the track to 4 feet 8 inches.
What is Charlie doing down here?
Charlie right now is tightening up track bolts. So if you want to come down here real quick, we talked a little bit about different weights of rail and trying to find the right bars to fit weights of rail in one of the last videos we were at. So essentially what Charlie is doing right now is just drawing in the bolts on these two joint bars. So
just a little bit bigger than the ones you probably have at home.
A little bit, yeah. For all you model railroaders, you can't just put these in with tweezers and bend them in.
Oh.
Sometimes it's a little tricky getting them to fit. You have to jack one rail up, or sometimes we've had to use a hammer to get them to sit in the web properly. But kind of just part of the gig.
So are you going to have one of those cool end of track things at the far end there, down there? One of those?
I'm not sure the entire plan with that. I'm sure we're going to have something up there to indicate end of track. But you know, this is not intended to be, you know, all that we ever do on the Zephyr track. Obviously, we're going to have to come back and put in ballast.
That'll probably be spring of once it warms up again in the new year.
We're going to need the ground to thaw to run the tamper through here to be able to actually draw it up to where we want it. And you know, down the road, eventually there's intended to be a switch from the track over in front of the depot that ties into this track, so the Mark Twain Zephyr can pull in and depart from this track without ever having to back up. So.
All right. Well, thanks for the update. Appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And a little bit later, Lance and I are going to use the ASV or our little Bobcat to kind of straighten the rail out a little bit here.
Okay.
It's not graded as nice as some of the other spots we've had track to lay, so we'll tug it into position, and when we're done, it'll be nice and straight.
All right. Well, we'll stick around and watch that. How about that?
Perfect.
Thanks so much.
Good. Yep. Later, guys.
here with Beverly. What are you doing? You got some blue paint.
Yeah, we're doing where the light is, the rope lights are going to go through here, so we're trying kind of a little bit of blue up here.
Okay.
And then there'll be wood trim, white. That's why there's paint around here. Because I was trying to do it without, but I have to get all of this along the ridge. I thought I could get by, so that's why there's a little bit of there. Because there'll be a white wooden trim here.
Okay. And you were telling me a little earlier that your inspiration for the blue is because you found some blue on the original.
Yeah, it is. It was like the primer was gray, and then there was like an institutional green, and then there was a light blue over the top. And so we kind of carried through with that. I showed that to the boss, and we kind of carried through with a little bit of the blue.
So at some point in the train's history, the Tom Sawyer would have been pretty close to the blue shade that you're painting it this morning.
Blue, maybe a little grayer blue, but it was pretty much a blue.
Okay.
You know, it's hard to see after that many years the paint fades and changes color, but you could definitely see the blue.
Nice. And like pan down to show everybody your beautiful work. So you've already gone down and back.
Yeah.
And these are going to be the kind of the final colors of the. This is where the 40 coach seats would have been. Not in the, and then looking through there's Bob in the parlor end. So this would have been the coach end. And so we have the white, the blue, and then what color was that? Was it caramel kisses or something?
Kisses.
Okay, I've been trying to figure that out. Someone said.
Ultimately, moonlight or something is the lighter color, something like that.
Okay.
And this, I didn't see what the actual color, so it's blue.
Hi.
And yeah, I have just a little bit of trim up to go on here, and then I've got to put another coat of the moonlight on the one set of panels.
Wow.
Somehow I went through and did a double coat on everything, and doing the double coat on that. So.
Well, then from there, I guess we're already looking at some carpet samples and some seat samples. We have a few of those already, so that will be, I guess, some of the next steps. Pretty much, I can't believe it. You guys have worked so hard just in 3 months. We've got most of the interior electricity, everything all set, the interior renovations. You guys are doing such a good job out here. Such hard work. What's more fun, scraping paint or putting new paint up?
I think, you know.
You like them both?
I don't care. I enjoy both of them. Yeah, it's nice to do something in between the other.
Well, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll check back with you in the new year as we work hard and get the other 4 cars looking like this, and hopefully we'll be riding the rails this time next year on the Mark Twain Zephyr.
Oh, I think we certainly should.
All right. Thanks, Beverly. All right. Thanks a lot, Nick and Beverly. And thank you for joining us for another update on MarkTwainZephyr.com. Join us for another update on Wednesday, December the 23rd, and we'll check in with Bob, who's putting some finishing touches on the Tom Sawyer.